Alright guys, I have done videos before on budget guitars, specifically on budget brands. What I've found interesting though is in my searches for really great guitars without spending a lot of money, I've found that there are name brands that sell some awesome axes, man. So I have specifically today electric guitars. You're looking for an electric guitar, something that won't break the bank, right? But you want something with a recognizable brand name that's respected and is backed by a big company, and you can have that. All right? So obviously I'm going to start with the largest company in the world for building electric guitars, and that's Squire. All right? Squire by Fender. They're Fender guitars, right? They're Fender guitars. They're maybe not up to the same standards as like the Fender name, but it's pretty close. It's backed by Fender, and Fenders start at like $1,000, you know? You're not finding cheap Fenders. Not brand new, right? But Squires, well, take a look here. They have their Bullet Telecaster, all right? That's a pretty good guitar, 140 bucks. It has the look of the Telecaster. It has the feel of the Telecaster. I personally like Squires. I have a Squire bass, and I've played other Squires. These are good guitars. 140 bucks is as cheap as you're going to find from a lot of the off-brands, except it's made by somebody you know, right? And they have other stuff, too. 200 bucks. They got the HH Telecaster, that Squire Affinity Telecaster. That's really, you know, heavy metal looking. It's a good guitar. It has a recognizable look, and it's built by Fender, dude. It's going to be a decent guitar, and you know it's going to be a decent guitar. And that is, by all means, that's a good looking guitar. I like it. I'd buy it. I'd play it. That's, you know, heavy metal madness, baby. That's right. Straight up. And they have some cool ideas, some other cool stuff. Look at that one, the Paranormal Series Offset Telecaster. That's different looking. I like that. That's kind of neat. You got your Squire Jaguar. That's a real classic looking, neat guitar, right? It's also, we're getting up into the higher numbers here. That's like 450 bucks. Some of the Squires do start to cost a little bit more. By budget, I'm including anything that's under $500 because a lot of companies, brand name companies, don't make stuff under 500 bucks. But Squire, yeah, that's a good brand for under 500. You can see their more expensive guitars do start to get up into the 400s. This one's 450. Right, you got your Squire Classic Vibe Starcaster. That's a $400 guitar. That's obviously not as budget as like the $150 Telecaster, but I mean, really, man, for 400 bucks, that's a good looking axe. That's a nice little hollow body, semi-hollow body guitar. It's cool looking, and that's still not a lot of money. That's not breaking the bank, man. As far as I'm concerned, you come in under $400, and that's a budget guitar, you know, especially because it's from the biggest brand out there. That's Squire. It's a good brand. Now let's go over to Epiphone, right? Gibson's baby brand. Epiphone is to Gibson what Squire is to Fender, more or less. And here you can see Epiphone has some pretty good offerings, right? 140 bucks for their Les Paul. It's like a Les Paul Jr. kind of thing. You know, what's that? Single coil pickups on it. It's like, you know, it's like a baby Les Paul. 140 bucks is a pretty good deal for any electric guitar though. And Epiphone is known for their quality. Here's 140 bucks for an SG. And once again, Epiphone, you know, they're known for their quality. At this price point, you're getting a bolt-on neck. You're not getting like a set neck like you would with the Gibson. But you know, Epiphones are pretty good, and a lot of people like their Epiphones better than their Gibsons. My dad bought an Epiphone, and legitimately, I've played Gibsons, I've played Epiphones. I like the Epiphone better, to be quite honest with you. Gibson's supposed to be upping their quality now. Maybe that's changing. But in the past, a lot of people preferred the feel and play ability of their Epiphones anyway. So, you know, you get up to like 180 bucks. Here's a Les Paul Special Vintage, right? It's got the humbuckers, it's got the look. That's a pretty nice guitar. Once again, it's a, you know, bolt-on neck, all that kind of stuff, but it's a good guitar at that price point. There's no doubt about it. Anytime you're getting a Les Paul under 200 bucks, that's an excellent price point. And this is from Epiphone. This is from somebody that's known for quality, that does good guitars. You don't have to wonder if you're getting something. You know what you're getting. You know what I mean? Then you get into the upper price stuff. You have stuff like the Epiphone Casino here. The Casino is a classic Epiphone guitar, right? I love these guitars. Great semi-hollow body guitars. These are up around $450. So you're getting, you know, more into the upper end of what I consider budget. But still, these are known quantities. You know, the Beatles played Epiphone guitars a good bit. John Lennon had an Epiphone Casino. They liked them. They liked the guitars. They're good guitars. Epiphone really didn't seem to suffer from quality, you know, the way Gibson did over the years. They're still seen as good instruments. I see them to be, you know, definitely a viable thing there. You can see that you can get the higher priced Epiphone SGs. They're still like 450 bucks, and you're getting a premium guitar. You know, it's from a name brand, and it's still it's not exactly expensive. Now next, I know Squire, Epiphone, those are the big names. We're going to go over to another big name. It's a big name, but it's a little off the beaten path from your standard, you know, Fender, Gibson kind of thing here, and that's Schecter. Right? Everybody knows Schecter, but what does Schecter offer like under $500? Because if you go and look at a lot of their stuff, most of it's a little more expensive. A lot of this stuff is like anywhere from $1,000 up to thousands of dollars. But they do offer some really good budget guitars. Here's one. There's the C6 Elite, and it's $240. That's all it is, man. 240 bucks. That's something that, I mean, that's affordable right there, right? 240 bucks. That's what you'd expect to pay for a lot of the budget brand guitars, and you're getting something from Schecter. And Schecter is known to be really top-notch instruments. I mean, really good stuff. I love them. A lot of people love them. You get up a little bit more in price, and just so you know, the lower price Schecters, there are other models too at these same price points, but you go up a little bit, like 330 bucks. Here's their C7 Deluxe 7-string. So you can get a Schecter 7-string guitar for like $330. Keep in mind, some of the newer Harley Benton 6 and 7-string like extreme guitars are costing, you know, $450, $500. So even Harley Benton has offerings in like the heavy metal extreme guitar market that are more than these. And these are Schecters. Schecter is known to be a good guitar. I'm totally, you know, I'd totally buy this guitar in a heartbeat. And you take a look here, they have about $370. We're getting to the upper end of budget brand stuff, you know. But this here, you got the Schecter C6 with Floyd Rose. So you got your Floyd Rose locking tremolo. I mean, that's a real heavy metal guitar. It looks good in black. Like Schecter, 90% of their guitars I think are black. But 370 bucks, that's still pretty affordable if you want something with a good name. You know what you're getting. You know you're getting a Schecter. Schecters are known for their tuning stability, and this being a Floyd Rose, you know, you lock that tremolo, your tuning is staying in, right? Good guitar. Obviously, it's a Schecter. And it's still not a ton of money. You know, here's their C8. You want an 8-string electric guitar. You can have a Schecter for $400. 400 bucks. And once again, it's a Schecter with the tuning stability of a Schecter, with the sound of a Schecter, with the quality. Excellent, excellent guitar. That's definitely a good deal. Even for an 8-string guitar from another brand, from any of the budget brands, that would be a pretty good deal. Needless to say, but In this case, it's a brand name. You know them, you can trust them, you know? And then you get up a little bit more. We're still sub $500. The Schecter Demon 6 6-string guitar. It's a gorgeous guitar. You're getting kind of into that level where the guitars start costing a good bit more, but this is like the bottom end of their serious premium guitars. You're still under $500. So, you know, that's a pretty good deal. I like Schecter. I definitely wouldn't mind buying one of their guitars. But I'll tell you what, let's move on here. Here's a brand people don't think of as budget. They're an excellent, excellent brand name that's recognized for quality, but they do have some guitars that are in the budget brands, right? Electric guitars. And that's Gretsch. Like right here, you see their Streamliner Junior. It's $300. Now that's... Gretsch doesn't really offer electric guitars like below that price point, but at the bottom end of what they offer, that's a really decent like Les Paul style guitar. $300. It's got the Gretsch name on it. We know that Gretsch makes quality stuff. They make quality guitars. They make quality drums. They're a good company. They're known for their quality, and you can get in on that for $300. You go up a little bit more, like $350. They have their Electromatic Jet Club electric guitar. It's, you know, solid body, very, once again, Les Paul style, really good looking guitar, Gretsch quality, $350. That's still pretty well in the affordable range. And as, you know, just keeping it sub $500, Gretsch makes this guitar here, their Streamliner Center Block Junior with V stop tail. It's one of their classic hollow body guitars, very Gretsch style, very much, you know, very Gretchy, I would say. They're known for their hollow bodies. It's got those really cool looking Gretsch pickups, real rockabilly kind of look to it, $450. That's the upper end of what I consider to be budget guitars, but it's still under $500. So, you know, it's still something that is fairly affordable. Now, the next brand we're going to take a look at here, right, is another one that's well known to all the metalheads out there, ESP. So let's take a look here. What does ESP have on the budget end? Well, they have some really reasonably priced guitars. Right here, we got the EC10 for $140. That's a bona fide ESP guitar for $140. Dual humbuckers, you know, it's the satin black, real heavy metal looking, good solid budget guitar at $140. It's something that almost anybody can afford. Easy to buy. I would totally try out that guitar. That's one that honestly I might buy and review in the future here, because that is well within my price range. And I mean, it's an ESP. You know what I mean? You go up a little bit more, they actually have the ESP LTD 7-string. 7-string electric guitar for $160. That's $160. You're still coming in under $200 on a ESP 7-string guitar. That's a serious deal. That's another one I'd seriously consider buying. I like ESP. They're a good brand, obviously. A lot of like serious professionals play their stuff. And you can get in on the ground floor on a 7-string for $160. That's a steal, man. You also got guitars like this one. They got their Les Paul style. You know, it's a pretty standard Les Paul type guitar. It's a little bit more. We're talking like $400, but it's a good looking guitar. And at the prices under this, there are a lot of other models. You have to go on there and look around. I'm just showing a couple of the models of these different brands. There are I don't have the time to show all of them, but here you have this one. $400 is pretty good. Pretty good deal for a quality Les Paul style guitar. And I know there are a lot of brands that sell this type of guitar for less money, but with this, I mean, it's ESP. You know what you're getting. You know the quality level. ESP guitars are really good, and if you want an ESP, I mean, you can get one at this price point. It's kind of the upper end of what I consider budget, but still, it's a rather wallet-friendly offering. Here you got a little bit more. Here's where you start getting into the guitars with a little more bells and whistles on them. It's like $450. Obviously, that's like closer to not so budget. You're getting the upper end of what I consider a budget guitar. That's the ESP M200. But this is one that comes with like a Floyd Rose tremolo, or maybe it's a Floyd Rose style tremolo. I'm not 100% sure if that's a genuine Floyd Rose or not. It looks like it might be. But it's a locking tremolo. It's got their better pickups. $450, and it really is like premium level guitar appointments on there. Seems like it's worth it to me, to be honest with you. If you have the money to blow on a guitar and you don't want to spend $1,000 on something, this looks like a pretty good offering. Pretty comparable to what Schecter was offering in the same price range, you know? So now I'm going to move on to a brand. I have played their guitars. I've owned some of their guitars. I love their stuff. And they definitely have some awesome guitars under $500. And that's Ibanez. So let's check out some Ibanez here. Here we got their GRX20W electric guitar. Now that's kind of a mouthful, but you're looking at a Strat style guitar with looks like a locking tremolo and dual humbuckers, like super Strat kind of thing going on there for $150. And I mean, it's an Ibanez. Ibanez's are great. I love Ibanez. I love Ibanez's cheap guitars too. Their cheap ones I find are particularly good for budget guitars. And man, $150 for a super Strat style guitar, it's hard to go wrong with that, right? That's hard to argue with. Here you have, it's kind of like an SG style offering from Ibanez there. $160. Once again, excellent guitar. You can't go wrong with Ibanez. They're a great brand. They tend to have really good quality. $160. I'd pick up that guitar at that price. That's pretty decent, you know? And then you got some of the really out there super Strat type offerings like this. You get up to $200. Here you have, it's their GRX70QA. Once again, kind of a mouthful, but I mean, who cares, right? It's $200 for, I mean, this is an awesome paint job. It's an awesome look. It's that super Strat, the HSH, you know? Two humbuckers with a single coil. You got the tremolo on there. This is a real heavy metal guitar. The real deal, $200, and it's an Ibanez. I love Ibanez. I can't say it enough. I'm a real fan of Ibanez, have been for a long time. Here they have a Paul Gilbert Signature, their micro electric guitar, $200. I don't know what micro means. It looks like a full-size guitar, but whatever. Semi-hollow, dual humbuckers, good-looking guitar, $200. You know, Ibanez, for $200, they have a 7-string dual humbucker guitar, and it's an Ibanez. So you're going to get the quality of an Ibanez. That's one of the best deals you're going to get on a 7-string guitar. I mean, that price is down there, even with like the Harley Bentons and things like that. But you're getting a brand name like Ibanez. I mean, I bought a Harley Benton 7-string, pretty much the same guitar as this, and it wasn't really that much less than this. With shipping, it might even come about, almost the same price. I didn't save a ton of money. Kind of makes me wish I bought the Ibanez, but it is what it is. And then you have, for a little bit more money, you have things like Ibanez's Art Core series, which are really cool looking guitars. This is just one of them, right? This is their AS53 semi-hollow. They have a lot of guitars in their Art Core series that are priced about the same. This one's like $300. They have a bunch of others around the same price point, between $300 to $500. And their Art Core guitars look awesome. They all have a very distinct, very cool look. This is definitely something, if you want something a little bit different, this is worth your while. Definitely worth your while. Love these guitars. Really good looking. Right, here's another Artcore one in their lemon yellow. I mean, you see what I mean. These are good looking guitars. That's a good looking guitar. And it's something a little bit different. It's not your standard black or sunburst. It has a definite different look to it. You stick around in that $400 range, and they have other guitars like this one that have the has the locking tremolo on it, has the super strat feel there, dual humbuckers with a single coil. Definite heavy metal look. I love that like sunset look to it, you know, what do they call it, autumn fade. Yeah, it looks like a sunset to me, more or less, and I like that. I love the look. I love extreme paint jobs like that. Definitely something that, you know, $400, yeah, that's a cool guitar. And here's another one of their Artcore guitars at the $400 level, that AF75. Once again, it's got a unique look to it. It's a transparent red sunburst, kind of like a more extreme take on the sunburst motif, you know. I mean, this one just has more of a bright red to it. It really pops. And they have a lot of different paint jobs on their Artcore guitars, a lot of different finishes and looks, and they're all really cool. I mean, that's the word I would use, cool. You know? And when you get all the way up to like $500, you start to see things like their Steve Vai Gem series guitar. You start to see the cheaper ones of those at $500. So you can get an Ibanez Gem at $500. Now, as you know, these guitars usually run, the Gem guitars are usually a lot more expensive than this, but they enter at $500, which is like the high end of what I would consider budget. But that is still budget. Anything under $500. So I include it. I'll include the Gem, even though that's a, I don't know, that's the high end of what I consider budget. Most budget guitars I look at as under $400, but $400 to $500 is still in there. So let's take a look at another brand name. Now this brand is known for lower priced guitars as well as having more expensive ones, and that's Jackson. And honestly, I like Jackson. They're a good brand. They sell good guitars. They have pretty good quality. Take a look here. We have their JS1X Dinky Minion, right? That starts at $160. It's, I mean, I've looked at these before. The Dinkies, they have cool paint jobs. You know, they have a cool look to them. Real heavy metal type guitars, dual humbuckers, everything you want to go out there and rock hard. And starting at like $160 is more than reasonable. This is the Jackson Rhodes. Now this one is finished like in natural. It's got a natural finish on it, but they have all kinds of different colors and finishes and all kinds of different looks to it. You know, of course, Rhodes, they're talking Randy Rhodes. These are like $270, so it's still under $300. It's the Randy Rhodes signature guitar. Obviously, it was they started producing these after Randy Rhodes died, but it was definitely inspired by him and his guitars. I believe Jackson worked with him before he died on developing a guitar. So you got the Jackson Rhodes guitars. Like I said, this one is the natural finish, but there are all kinds of, I've seen all kinds of crazy finishes and paint jobs on these. $270, and it's a really cool guitar. Really, you know, kind of unique. Very very out there, extreme look to them. I like that. I like the offset V. I had an Ibanez. It was an offset V like that. They're Proline V, and I like the look. It's a cool look, you know. So you move on. $340. You have the Jackson Warrior here, and you have other stuff in that price point as well. It's got a nice tremolo, dual humbuckers. Once again, real extreme looking, heavy metal guitar. It's got different, you can get different finishes and whatnot on it, but you know, they're all pretty much, the Warrior's line is all pretty much the same guitar. Very similar to their other guitars, you know, but they're all very good, and it gives you a chance to have something with a different look, a different feel to it. Here you got the Jackson Adrian Smith SDX, right? This was in Snow White, but they have other colors. It's super Strat, really. You have your HSS, your humbucker, 2 single coils, you know, Floyd Rose style tremolo, you know, locking tremolo system there. It's definitely super Strat. Now this is getting into the more expensive end, like $500, but for $500 you're getting really a lot of guitar for that, and it's got their better pickups. It's, you know, it's a good guitar. No doubt about it's worth the money. That's the upper end of what we would consider budget, but still it's affordable. I included it because I like it and I wouldn't mind owning one, right? So there we go. That's what I've got for you. And there are other brands. There are other brands that offer budget guitars that maybe you like better, maybe fit your taste, your style, your budget, whatever. Now, for this, I did my research on Musician's Friend. I like Musician's Friend. That's fine. If you're in Europe, go over to Thomann. They have the same guitars. If, you know, you can go to Sweetwater, Guitar Center. They all have pretty much the same inventory, right? A lot of the same stuff. And if you want to find the lower price stuff, it's real easy. You find the brand you like on Musician's Friend, right? You search for the brand you like, and you put on, you know, what you're searching for as new, because they have used guitars in open box and that kind of stuff. So I just specify new and list it from price low to high. And look at what they have at the bottom of their price bracket. And you can do that on most websites. Just find the brand you want to search, or just go to guitars, electric guitars, and price low to high. And search that way. And honestly, you'll find some stuff that'll surprise you. It'll surprise you how many people really offer guitars in budget-friendly, you know, budget-friendly varieties. And it will surprise you how good the quality is on a lot of these. You know, the Squires and Epiphones are inexpensive, but they are really high-quality guitars. And honestly, Schecter, even with their lower-priced offerings, they don't cheap out on quality. None of these brands do, really. They're all really good stuff. So, you know, go out there and take a look for yourself, too. Look through these. I can't show everything in these price ranges. Obviously, all of these brands offer a lot of other guitars in that budget-friendly realm, except for Gretsch. I think I showed like 80% of what they offer under $500. They don't offer a lot, but what they do offer under $500 is really, really nice and worth taking a look at. But most of these brands, they offer a lot of other stuff under $500. It's worth taking a look, but look, I'm going to let you take a look on your own, right? Just so you know, I'm not advertising Musician's Friend specifically. I just happen to find them to be easy to use for searching and for doing research. I like everybody else just as much. So, I will see you in the next video. You know, love you guys. Peace out. Bye-bye.